Hello, nurses and friends of nurses. I've been trying to get to this for a very long time, this article, and now I'm finally doing it, and I'm doing it in one take, whether it takes or not. This is a very important topic that we need to be talking about, and it is another look at antibiotic resistance. Now, I came across a study done back in called The Evaluation of Wi-Fi Radiation Effects on Antibiotic Susceptibility, Metabolic Activity, and Biofilm Formation on E. coli, Staph aureus, and Staph epidermis. Now, this research was done only in October of 2019 in the Journal of Biophysics and Engineering. This study was conducted with 3 different university faculty members in the biological sciences. The purpose was to determine whether Wi-Fi emitting routers, the ones that we commonly use here in our homes, are causing, at the frequency most used in the world, would alter 3 common disease-causing bacteria enough to make them resistant to antibiotics. So what are these 3? The first one was E. coli. This is one that is normally responsible for many outbreaks of diarrhea, and in most cases the diarrhea resolves itself, but in about 5 to 10%, people that are at risk, such as young children, people with an already existing health condition, people that, the elderly, they are more susceptible. Where it's transmitted is from food such as meat and vegetables, food preparation surfaces, or human-to-human contact, such as in a daycare facility. The next bacteria was the Staphylococcus aureus, and this is a type of bacteria that about 30% of the population carries in their nasal cavity. Most of the time, just like E. coli, this bacterium causes no serious health risks. However, the prevalence of resistance to antibiotics is growing. One of the most common resistant strains of this is MRSA, M-R-S-A, methicillin-resistant Staph aureus. So I'm going to just skip over a few of these things here. You can take a look. The article is on my website called emfrn.com. Let's go over here to this part if you want to read the whole article in its entirety. The final bacterium tested was Staphylococcus epidermis, and it's a normal part of the skin flora. It is thought to be benign. However, it is regarded as one of the leading causes of nosocomial or hospital-acquired infections. The biofilm, which is a protective slime-like layer that protects the bacteria in its matrix, that forms from this bacterium, is notorious for growing on plastic surgical implants and in indwelling catheters. Staphylococcus epidermis now accounts for at least 22%, or over 1 in 5, bloodstream infections in intensive care, or the ICU units, of patients in the United States. So let's get a few excerpts from this study. So the present study evaluated the non-thermal or non-heat effects of wireless fidelity, Wi-Fi, operating at 2.4 gigahertz. And this is part of the non-ionizing EMF on different pathogens, the 3 we just talked about. Antibiotic resistance, motility, metabolic activity, and biofilm formation were examined. In this case control, a Wi-Fi router was used as a source of microwaves. Do you understand that a Wi-Fi router is microwaves? And bacterial cells were exposed to Wi-Fi radiation continuously for only 24 and 48 hours. That's 1 and 2 days only. Now, there are other Wi-Fi signals out there that are being transmitted and things are changing, but this one was about the most common one that we see in the world. What were the results? Well, the exposure to Wi-Fi radiation altered motility and antibiotic susceptibility of the E. coli. However, there was no effect of Wi-Fi radiation on antibiotic susceptibility of the Staph aureus and the Staph epidermis. On the other hand, the exposed cells, as compared to the unexposed control, showed an increased metabolic activity, and that biofilm that protects them ability in the E. coli, Staph aureus, and the Staphylococcus epidermis. In other words, E. coli showed antibiotic resistance and biofilm formation. Now, like I had said before, biofilm formation protects the bacterium in its slimy matrix. It's a coating underneath. You've got your biofilm and these little bacteria, they're all multiplying and doing their thing, and it protects them from the antibiotic cannot get to it. Let's see, where am I? Now, the Staph aureus and Staph epidermis, there was the biofilm formation. There was not the antibiotic susceptibility. But when you think about it, if there's a biofilm covering it so they can multiply and do their thing, there would be no penetration of that antibiotic in to kill those bacteria. So they go on to say these results propose that Wi-Fi exposure that acts on the bacteria in stressful manner by increasing the antibiotic resistance and motility of E. coli, and it enhances the biofilm formation of E. coli, Staph aureus, and Staphylococcus epidermis. Now, let me just say the one thing is that you have these common bacteria, especially the ones that are lining the inside of catheters and things like that that are found, you know, when you have a urinary indwelling catheter. And we have this Wi-Fi just constantly pounding these human beings that are already compromised. We have to start thinking and being more careful about this. What if, just what if this study shows that it's true and that we are turning the other cheek just for convenience? Now, I've known about this kind of thing for years. The Wi-Fi has always bothered me. I can tell in the middle of the night if the Wi-Fi is on. What we need to do is we need to take a look at shutting it off at night and shutting your phone off and anything that's transmitting. Anyway, I have all of the references here on the back, and you can take a look at the references and where I pulled this from. And hopefully I can get more in the schedule now that we are kind of on the other side of this scare and things are getting back to what they're calling the new normal, which I think is, I'm not going to say. So anyway, you have a great day, and you get out there and take care of your patients the best that you can. And for those of you that are around and taking care, helping with anybody you know that's a nurse, tell them they're doing a good job. Thank you, and we'll talk next time.